There's an island off Florida's Gulf Coast that has no roads, no bridges, and barely any people. Cabbage Key is just 112 acres of pure old Florida charm, accessible only by boat or seaplane. So I packed a bag, booked a boat ride, and took a solo trip to one of the most remote inhabited islands in the state. Over the next few days, I stayed in a historic inn, explored hidden trails, kayaked through mangrove tunnels, and of course ate some incredible seafood. But before any of that, I had to get there, and that's where the adventure begins. So a couple days ago, I didn't even know about Cabbage Key, had never heard of it in my life, and I was trying to find somewhere interesting and unique and remote that I could go in Florida to make a video out of, somewhere between like Tampa and Naples, because we live in the Tampa area. So I took the ChatGPT, I said, give me some ideas. And one of the ideas they spit out was Cabbage Key. I'm like, what the heck is Cabbage Key? Like, that sounds weird. I've never heard of it. And so I looked it up, and it really intrigued me because of how remote it is. The fact that you can only get there by boat or seaplane. And it has a very cool old Florida vibe. I just got what will probably be my last good coffee for the next 2 days because there's only one restaurant on the island, no coffee shops or anything. And I looked at their breakfast menu and it's just hot black coffee. Hopefully they have creamer packets. I'm kind of bougie with my coffee. I always get an iced latte with vanilla and lavender. That's my favorite coffee order, but I don't think I'm getting that. So I'm over on Pine Island now, and there is an insane amount of palm trees that I'm driving past. And I think these are actually like palm tree farms. So I'm almost wondering if they grow them here for other parts of Florida that like naturally wouldn't have a lot of palm trees, like these big development neighborhoods. And they transplant the trees in from here because there's a crap ton of palm trees. Getting to Cabbage Key takes a little planning. There's a company called Island Girl Charters that runs daily trips from Pineland, but they were fully booked on the day that I was heading back. So instead, I arranged a private boat ride with Captain Will from Matt Lachey Boat Adventures. And honestly, it worked out even better. It was a little bit cheaper, way more private, and it actually came with the bonus of a local guide who knew these waters like the back of his hand. I drove to the town of Bokeelia at the north end of Pine Island to catch the boat ride. I decided to rent a kayak to bring to the island with me, and the rental company was conveniently at the same marina. On the way out, we got incredibly lucky and spotted a pair of dolphins that decided to follow us. They started jumping in and out of the wake like they were putting on a show for us, and it was honestly one of the most magical moments I've ever experienced. As we cruised toward the island, Captain Will shared a ton of history about Cabbage Key and the surrounding region. I'll have links to both the boat and kayak businesses in the description in case you want to use them yourself. I'd highly recommend both of them. Thank you so much. The history of Cabbage Key stretches back thousands of years. Long before boats carried visitors here, the island was home to the Calusa people, one of the most powerful indigenous tribes in Florida. They were expert fishers and engineers, building massive shell mounds that still shape the island's landscape today. Fast forward to the 1930s, and Cabbage Key took on a new identity when the son of mystery writer Mary Roberts Reinhardt bought the island and built the now historic inn. The charming White House on the hill wasn't just a private retreat, it became a gathering place for travelers, fishermen, and anyone looking to experience old Florida's untouched beauty. After the Reinhardt era, the island changed hands a few times, but always remained a haven for those seeking a quiet escape. Eventually, it became a family-run operation, with its owners dedicated to preserving Cabbage Key's natural beauty and historic charm. Over the years, this little island has drawn its fair share of famous visitors. Some say Jimmy Buffett found inspiration for Cheeseburger in Paradise right here at the inn's restaurant. And well-known names like Julia Roberts, Harrison Ford, and John F. Kennedy Jr. have all passed through, drawn to Cabbage Key's secluded charm and old-world Florida feel. Unlike many coastal areas that have been developed over the years, Cabbage Key has remained virtually unchanged, offering visitors a rare glimpse of what Southwest Florida looked like before high-rises and highways took over. There are no roads, no cars, and barely any signs of modern development. Just winding trails, towering water oaks, and one of the last remaining water towers in Southwest Florida. I'm finally checked into my room here at the inn, and it's kind of interesting because you have to come in through the dining room in the restaurant to check in, and you check in with the manager. You're like standing in the middle of the restaurant, and then all of the rooms that are within the inn are just off of the dining room. So it's kind of funny, like I could hear the music playing in the dining room, not loud, but like it's busy right now because it's lunchtime. It is very historic feeling and cozy, and I kind of knew what to expect from looking at pictures of the rooms. So I'm staying in room number 5. There's 6 rooms total in the inn. There's also separate cabins off the inn that are within the island that you can stay in. And I was kind of looking at that, but it was more space than I needed, and the smallest of them was booked up. So for me, it just made sense to get a room here at the end. Yeah, it's really cute. I'm going to show you guys around a little bit. So it's not a huge room, but when you come in, you have a queen bed here. Feels pretty cozy. I'll see how it feels after sleeping on it night 1. All of the walls are wood paneling painted, and then the ceiling actually is wood paneling as well. And it has kind of like a old nautical style vibe to it. Across from the bedroom, you have a pretty good sized closet. I read that you didn't have any TV, but I don't know if it's like a new addition. There is a TV in here. Part of the charm of staying somewhere like this is like not having access to a lot of modern amenities, I guess. So I was not going to be upset if there wasn't a TV, but it's nice. And then in the bathroom here, pretty basic, not huge. It is like a nice fully tiled shower, so that should be nice. And then also, I think it was a cute touch. They have little custom soaps here that you can use. Now, the really exciting thing about this room and why I picked this room specifically is because it has its own private balcony. So out here, this is all mine, just private balcony. There's 2 chairs and a little side table, and you can actually go out the screen door and have direct access to the island. So I actually really like this because it is a little awkward having to go through the dining room, especially during lunchtime. There's a lot of people in there right now. So if I wanted to like go out and explore the island, I could just come out this way and go explore. And you can hear tons of birds out here. You could probably hear them. But it's super peaceful out here. And midday is kind of like their busiest time on Cabbage Key because a lot of people come here just to on a boat tour for the day. Like they come on, have lunch at the restaurant, walk around a little bit, and then they go off. So I imagine at night, once a lot of the people leave, and also early morning, that it'll be very peaceful out here. So I'm excited. Well, it is 3 o'clock right now, and I haven't eaten anything today, so I definitely want some food. I'm getting hungry. So I think I'm just gonna go get something light because I have reservations for dinner tonight. I think it's 7 or 7:30. So I don't want to eat too much, but I do need something. So I think I'm gonna go right outside my door to the restaurant. The most famous spot on the island is the Dollar Bill Bar and Restaurant, where nearly every inch of the walls and ceiling is covered in signed dollar bills. The tradition started decades ago when fishermen would leave money behind to buy a drink on their next visit. But now thousands of bills hang throughout the bar, creating a one-of-a-kind atmosphere. And something really cool is that any bills that drop from the walls are collected by the restaurant throughout the year and donated to charity annually. It's 4:30 now. I'm supposed to eat at like 7:30, and I don't think I'm going to be hungry yet, so see if I can move that. But you can tell that the island's starting to clear out. All the people that were here earlier on boat tours are starting to head back out, and so the island's becoming a lot quieter, and the weather is beautiful right now, but it's probably low 70s The humidity is dipping down. It just feels very nice and breezy. What I'm gonna do is they have a nature trail that runs all around the island. Since I need to work off that lunch anyway so I can be ready for dinner later, I'm gonna go take a walk around the nature trail and just kind of explore the island a little bit more. Okay, this nature trail is actually shorter than I thought because I thought it went around the whole island, but I think it just goes around like the main area where the house is and the port and all that, which I've already done this whole trail already. So I guess we'll just walk around it a couple times. We'll do some laps. So let me tell you guys about some of the things that are on the island. It's not a lot going on. It's more of a place of getting away from the hustle and bustle, having some peace and quiet. It's like where you'd come if you wanted to write a book or something. But there are some things to do. So obviously you have the main house. That is where all the dining is, and that's where I'm staying. That's the actual inn. So that's kind of the main building that's perched on top of the hill when you first come up to the island. Behind me here is an ice cream shop, so I might get that tomorrow. So if you were coming with a group, it would be cool to stay in a private cabin, and they're off to the side, so you're a little bit more private and removed from all the people that are coming to the island in the middle of the day, so you have more privacy if you stay in a cabin for sure. Also on the island here, they have tons of outdoor seating. So some of it's up near the restaurant, some of it's kind of out in the middle of the grassy area. So just for reference, this is the dock house where you come in by boat, and it's a short walk right up the hill, and up there is the actual inn and restaurant where I'm staying. So everything here is very close together right in this like one little area of the island. I thought that the nature trail went around the whole island, and maybe I haven't actually found it yet, but I think it just kind of circumvents this whole area. But as you can see, tons of beautiful like foliage and plants, lots of birds everywhere. I can hear owls, and this bird's coming in for a landing. Now another animal that is popular on the island, and I haven't seen it yet for some reason, because I know they're around here somewhere, but it's a specific type of turtle called a gopher tortoise, and they will actually burrow in the ground. So right here you can see that they have it fenced off. I don't know if this is Donatello's burrow apparently. So this is where Donatello comes, and he makes his little holes, and I guess comes here at night, and then maybe they come out during the day. All right, I get it now. So here we have Michelangelo's burrow. So all the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles live on this island.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
For dinner, I started with the French onion soup, which was missing the cheese that I love, but the flavor of the soup was so good it kind of made up for it a bit. For my entree, I went with the fresh catch of the day, as recommended by Captain Will himself, and on this night it was herb-crusted triple tail fish, topped with a pineapple cream sauce. This was absolutely amazing, and the fish tasted so fresh, probably some of the best fish I've ever had. I decided to turn in early this night because I have a big day ahead of me tomorrow. I slept really well last night. The bed, fire. But this morning was very peaceful. You can probably hear, hopefully, that there's birds going crazy outside. So I kind of woke to that, just like the noise of the birds and all the nature outside. And it actually reminded me when I would stay at my grandma's house growing up. So it was kind of nice because it's like the wood paneling and just being a little bit closer to nature. Like, I just really enjoy that feeling. The plan today, we're going on a little bit of an adventure. You probably saw that I picked up a kayak when I took the boat over here to Cabbage Key. So today I'm kayaking from Cabbage Key around to the backside of the island, and then over to an island that runs next to Cabbage Key called Cayo Costa. And it's actually a state park. But it's not operating as a state park technically yet because it's still recovering from damage from Hurricane Ian. But you can still like go to the island. It's just not a sanctioned state park like functioning right now. So I'm going to kayak there. I don't know. I haven't gotten a clear answer of how far the kayak ride is, but I think it's roughly an hour to an hour and a half each way. So I'm a little nervous. I've never kayaked that long, but it kind of reminds me of when I was in Victoria and I went to Washington State for the day and did that long bike ride. And like I had never bike ride anywhere near that long, and so I kind of went in feeling a little uncomfortable. But honestly, it's like you figure it out, and if I start getting too tired and I haven't made it yet, I'll just turn around and go back. But it's so, I think, important in life to like push yourself to do things that are outside of your comfort zone. Because if you think of your comfort zone as like a bubble, and everything along the edge of the bubble is like the maximum that you are comfortable doing. But every time that you do something that's just outside of your comfort zone, you expand that bubble a little bit more and more until, you know, you're willing to do a lot more things because you've expanded your comfort zone. All this whole world of things and opportunities open up to you because you are now at a comfort level where you can handle that. So I went to the restaurant to pick up my bag lunch. I also ordered a cup of coffee. And keep in mind, I had expectations. I knew I wasn't going to have great coffee for the next 2 mornings. So like I had that expectation. So I order a coffee and the girl's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, we're all out of coffee." I'm like, no. So a lot of the people that work here live on the island, or at least a portion of them do. So the manager was like, "I'm gonna go over to my house right now. I'm gonna brew a pot of coffee and bring you back a coffee." I'm like, "Bless, dude." So they're super nice here. So I got my little coffee, and honestly, it's probably because I set proper expectations. It's better than I expected. Not great, but like cream and sugar, you know, enough cream and sugar, and you can make any coffee good. So. Okay, so this is my kayak setup. They actually gave me a sea kayak because I told them how far I'm going. So she said that a sea kayak would be a little bit more stable. So it's a 1-seater. It's got 2 compartments to put stuff in. And then it's got these straps here too. So I think I'm actually just gonna put my dry bag underneath these straps so I can get the stuff if I need. And they actually, when I got here yesterday, they brought the kayak over from the dock where we came in over to this little kind of, I think it's a man-made beach, but just so I can easily launch it right here. So super nice and convenient. What do we got here? A balloon. Alright. There's my good deed for the day. So these are oyster beds. Ooh, made it. These are oyster beds here, and they are very sharp. Don't be like me. Bring good water shoes. And my captain yesterday even told me to bring water shoes for the oyster beds, and I completely forgot today. So I just have flip-flops on, and they're like sliding off. And the oyster beds are extremely sharp. Like, I just cut my foot. Pretty neat. Kind of want to take it, but I won't. I will leave it. So right now it's more low tide, and that's why this is exposed. I believe during high tide this would be actually all covered in water. I was gonna fly the drone, but there's no good like flat place that I'd take off or land from here with the oyster beds. So I think I'm just gonna get back in the kayak and keep paddling on. I'm about halfway to where I'm going, so nice little pit stop. Alright, so essentially straight ahead here is the entrance to Murdoch Bayou. And that's where we're headed. It's actually nice how shallow a lot of these waterways are because, like literally I'm in probably less than a foot of water. And it's It's nice because the boaters can't get over here, so you have a little bit of space from them. Alright, so I think we're getting close to the Tunnel of Love. So I would say if you want to do this kayak route, definitely wouldn't want to be like a beginner kayaker. I'm by no means an advanced kayaker, but I would say like intermediate. I feel comfortable navigating the kayak through like tighter and narrower areas. Like you want to feel comfortable moving it around because you're not just on open water where you can, you know, have all the room to mess up. I say that now, watch me like crash into some mangroves up here or something. I don't think I can get through that. I mean, this one right here is going to be an issue. Just trying to see if it's more clear as I keep going. Ow, ow, ow. Come on. There is barely room to use your paddle for anything. We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! And there's more. This is creepy. This is creepy. It's creepy. Alright guys, I don't think I'm getting through anymore. I don't know if you can tell up there, like I can just see that it is completely blocked by trees. Like it's a big branch, so I don't think I can even like lift it or maneuver it. And it's very tight there, so I don't want to get up that way and then not be able to turn around or get out. Well, that sucks. Yeah, I'll correct myself and say like you definitely want to be like very comfortable maneuvering a kayak to come in here. Alright, so I decided to stop here on this little sandbar beach area. I'm gonna eat the lunch that I brought from the restaurant. I'm a little disappointed that I didn't get to make it to the through the Tunnel of Love, because when you get to the other side it opens into this lagoon. You know, there's like a beach and everything there, so I think it would have been cool, but I suspect that there's a lot of fallen trees from the hurricane. Never go wrong with a ham sandwich. Man, they loaded it up with ham. I've been on this little beach here for probably almost an hour. I flew the drone for a little bit, and it's just very peaceful. One thing that's really hard with these vlogs is like you're so focused on what you have to film and the shots you have to get that sometimes you don't really get to enjoy the moment, I guess, as much. And so like you're in a moment like this when your mind should like really quiet down and enjoy the peace, and it's hard to actually do that. But one thing I've kind of learned to be able to get a vlog and still enjoy that piece of the moment is, you know, for example, on this kayak trip, I'll record really heavy coming out and almost get more content than I need. And then on my way back, I give myself permission to just chill and not record a bunch. So with that being said, I'm gonna turn this off for now and just kind of like enjoy my kayak ride back to Cabbage Key. Made it back to the island and took a shower. Was feeling pretty gross, and then I rested for a couple hours. It was kind of like the busiest time of day here too, so I didn't really feel like being out in the main restaurant area. So I figured I'd just use that time to kind of like rest. But it's 3:30 now, so I'm actually gonna walk down and see if I can get an ice cream. I don't even know if it's open.
Hello.
Hi. How are you? I was just sitting here and now Michelangelo's on the move. Here he is. It's a gopher tortoise. It's Michelangelo. So I just climbed to the top of the water tower here on the island, and it's actually like the only last surviving water tower in the area. There used to be water towers like this on most of these islands around here, and over time most of them have been destroyed by hurricanes. Some of the water towers were built with steel and then others were built with wood. This one is built with wood, and I can tell that they just did some fresh paint on it today. It looks really nice considering it was built in the 1930s. So it did get some damage by a hurricane in 2004, they said, but it's still in great shape. Honestly, it felt really sturdy walking up here, and you could tell that they do a good job of maintaining it and painting it so that the salt water doesn't, and the salt air and everything doesn't degrade the wood so much. And it's really cool up here because you just get a nice view of the island. So this is the inn and the restaurant. That's the path that I come up a lot of times. And way in the distance there, that is Usepa Island. That is a lot more developed. You can see there's like tons of houses on it. Alright, it is my last day here on Cabbage Key. I'm going to be checking out here soon. But this morning, kind of just took it slow. I actually decided to get breakfast, which was my first time having breakfast here. It was pretty good. I had French toast. And then I was kind of rushing because I wanted to take the kayak out one more time. So I ended up going out. Now, while I was eating breakfast, we could see a mama dolphin and her baby right in the water here out, like basically out in front of the island. So after I finished eating, I got on my kayak and I was like determined to try to find them. The guy said that they had gone further out because they were chasing boat wakes. So I headed out that way. I didn't think I'd actually like see them because it had been a minute since they were here. And all of a sudden I see their dorsal fin or whatever up out of the water. So I was out for probably like an hour, pretty much just chasing dolphins. Like I got up close to them. They definitely didn't gravitate towards the kayak as much as they do the boats. And I think it's because the boats give them the wake that they like to jump. But also I suspect that people on the boats throw up fish and stuff for them, which I did learn it's actually not a good thing to do because they become way too friendly with boats and they can tend to get hit by the propeller and get their fins damaged or they die. But I did get some footage, and then also the mom and the baby met up with 2 others. So I was like kayaking with this pod of dolphins. It was a crazy experience. It was a really fun morning. I'm glad I went out one more time. But I've really enjoyed my time here. 2 nights was perfect because there's not a lot to do. So 2 nights is enough to do anything you kind of want to do in the area, but also just have time to enjoy the peace, the relaxation. Highly recommend coming to Cabbage Key. Highly recommend this room too, room number 5, because I would love having a private balcony. There's a turtle, and one of the turtles is just right out there right now. I'm assuming that's Leonardo because his little name sign is right outside of my room. And I've been looking around because I was like, where am I staying? It's supposed to be here. That's the first time I've seen one here. So, anyways, guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing this kind of old vintage style Florida travel experience. I'll put all the details down below of where I stayed, the boat transport I had, kayak rental, all of the stuff I use. So if you guys are trying to plan a trip here, you have access to all that. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.